All right, here we go. We're live in 3, 2. Welcome, everybody. Jeff Hirsch here. I've got Kevin Casanova with me from our team here at our agency. And Mark's glad to be here live. We got Brian, we got Steve, we got Andy. Everybody's joined us here on StreamYard. We're going to get this live and recorded. It'll be on demand as well. So if you guys watch this and want to come back later, the exact same link, we'll be able to make sure that you guys have everything that you need to watch this, go back through and get all the help and the assets that you want. JC, what's going on? Welcome to each and every one of you guys. It's a great start to the week. Actually, it's like 11 o'clock on the West Coast, but I've been up for about 5 hours now, and I'm sure my team felt it this morning when I jumped on the daily and I wasn't just having coffee and starting my day. I was already 3 hours in and fired up and just barking commands as we get going. What's up, John? From there, the reason is I want to be up and ready and get a lot of the stuff implemented for you with this training. If you're watching this for the first time, or if you've never seen me or who we are before, I'm Jeff Hirsch. I'm the founder of a software company called Reviewly.ai. We've got the AI agency community for the agency starter kit that we run. We have a YouTube channel. We have socials. We do a lot of stuff for sharing what's working in our agency right now. And I brought Kevin, who's on our staff and has been on our team for a while now, who actually is running sales, and he's helping me train and implement sales strategies and stuff for our sales team for cold outreach. We've done training on like our pivot program and things like that. But he also is part of the implementation side of our team for my agency for the smaller parts. That's one of the main things that Kevin's going to be on the call with for us today as we get in and go through this process. So the biggest thing when it comes to running an agency, or for those of you that are newer agencies or you're just starting out, is lack of clarity, where you are told, here's how to do outreach. You are sold a product or a service or a hype of this works, this is going to get results for your client, but no one really shows you how it actually all comes together on the back end, or at least publicly, right? So here's what we're going to do today as we go through. Kevin and I are just going to start to have a conversation. You guys will be able to go through and ask us questions live on here. If you're part of the school community, you'll be able to, comment and ask us questions later as well. But here's what we're talking about today. We're going to talk about real client implementation. We're going to go through and discuss 3 or more clients today. 2 of them we're going to dive into. One's we've already been working on. One we're about to start. We waited for this video and this section to do. It's going to tie in all the products and services and things that we've been talking about for 6 months to a year, if not maybe even more, when you talked about things like Reviewly for the last 3 or 4 years in our implementation phase. We're going to talk about the exact service package, the pricing of that package, right? The primary one we're going to talk about today is our Local Boost package. It's a $1,500 a month package. We'll talk about what that entails, what it includes, why we build it this way to this specific client. This package could sell for 2-3 times more easily, depending on the niche that you're in. We'll talk a little about the website build, the tools that we use. We're going to show you the live websites of these clients that we've actually built, a website refresh that we're doing, some of our Google business profile strategies, our reviews and reputation strategies, the software and the tools that we use for all of those. Okay. We're not pitching the tools and things on this call, but we're going to show you these are the actual tools that we do really use. So you can watch us we'll log in, and actually Kevin's going to be the one to log into those accounts and things like that. I'd probably get lost from there. Social profiles and automations. We'll talk about how we do the fulfillment, and we're a small team, right? So we're going to show you how a 1 or 2-man team, because Kevin can actually do all of this by himself now. So if you are a solo operator, solopreneur, smaller agency, just kind of getting started, wondering, well, how do I do outreach? How do I get a client? Well, watch the YouTube channel, go to agencystarterkit.com, join the community, right? But if you're on here live and you're walking through this, you're going to have the ability to ask us questions as we go. We're not going to stop what we're doing, train of thought for every single question that comes in. But if it's logical and it makes sense, then we'll answer it from there. So, Kevin, let's frame this a little bit before we get started. We'll do LNS hardscaping first.
All right.
Okay. Client of mine that you're helping do the fulfillment side because you now work for Reviewly and as part of the agency. So Kevin is on board. He's on a salary. He gets to travel to Tijuana a lot for our sales team twice in the last 2 months. Great vacation package, man. But I get to leave Cabo to go to Tijuana for me. But in all reality, I mean, you've only been doing agency work, and by the way, you have your own clients for what, like less than 6 months now.
I guess it was like 4 months now.
Yeah. So Kevin's been only doing this for about 4 months. So the reason why it's not just me on here, teaching and telling you guys this and just, pitching to you, here's what you need to do, all this stuff, is Kevin's been doing this for 4 months. Most of you on this call or are going to be watching this training have done agency work a hell of a lot longer than Kevin, right? Kevin handles my smaller clients. I only handle the larger clients now. He does some of the fulfillment. That's why we're going to show you that $1,500 package and stuff today. But some of the work that Kevin's done with me has also led to him creating his own agency as well. So outside of working with us, and Kevin, you also have some of your own smaller clients as well, correct?
Yeah. After working with you for a while, people just started asking, and I just started offering the service. And well, thankfully, it's been taking off little by little, but I'm grinding there.
So, and that's a great way to put it, right? Because a lot of people are gonna be like, "Well, Jeff, you have an agency, you've been doing this, like you've got all these things that you can create." Yeah, I've been doing marketing and sales for 18 years. Right. I've been running an agency for 15 plus now for most of that time, if not of all of it, to be realistic, but 15 years would be a good estimate from there. So if you're just getting started, right, and if you really are trying to figure out how do I start an agency and I want to get started, one of the biggest things that I wrote, and I have a little notepad here, is you want to be able to create proof that you can do what you say you can do. Right. A lot of you have tools and services, whether they be for me or somebody else, or maybe you don't have anything, you're not sure what to offer yet. Here's what your goal should be for the next 2 weeks to 30 days if you're starting out with an agency brand new. Okay. You want to be able to have an idea of what you're going to offer and how you're going to set up your first client. That can be as simple as, Kevin, some of the things that you've done, offering Google Business Profile using something like Reviewly.ai, or updating and editing a website. Now, 5 years ago, or even 2 years ago, or even a year ago, it wasn't possible to say you're a brand new agency, go do website design. You're going to have to find an outsourcer, do everything. But now with AI, the tools are there, and business owners don't know about them. They don't want to touch them. They don't want to go through them. Pick a simple service that you can sell. And I think your first client was just a Reviewly device, right? One of the review devices, get your foot in the door from there.
Yeah, that was my first client. It was it's an auto parts shop that focuses on off-roading.
Cool. So you got your first client in the door, and they were within like the first week or two from there. But your goal is, if you're a new agency, is to get yourself a client. It doesn't need to be a paying client. In this case for Kevin, it was. If you know somebody that needs more reviews, or maybe they need a website refresh, or they don't have a social presence, right? Or maybe they don't have a Google Business Profile. A Google Business Profile hasn't been touched in 3, 4, 5 years. Offer a simple service. And what you do is you want to build case studies. You want to build results. Some of the bigger markets that I'm going into, I've spent a year building a case study for one client because it takes that long to be able to create the cycle of what we wanted to get those traction and the results. I can now take that case study and build an entire agency model around just that one case study. So your goal, if you're a new agency, it's not going to take you a year to build a website. It's not going to take you more than a couple of hours to do that, to optimize Google Business Profile, to create and update social media and start getting their posting going from there, or start generating Google Business Profile reviews, right? Your goal should be get that one client, some really good results, take that and go do it for 2 or 3 more, build yourself a little referral engine, some case studies. And now when people tell you go out, prospect, do outreach, show other folks what you do, you actually have proof. And then somebody that they can pick up the phone and call and go, oh, I know Jeff. I know Kevin. Yeah, they did a great job for me. Go look at what we did. Or if the business owner never calls, but they see your website over at LNS Hardscaping or State 48 Moving or Amargo Cocktail Room, which is all the businesses we're going to show you today. When they see those, they go, oh yeah, I would like something like that. And they don't know that you did it as a case study or to build your portfolio of clients, right? You can do those first couple to get your feet wet, get used to it. They're going to know you're going to make mistakes. You're not going to be scared of trying things because you don't have to be like, oh, they don't pay me if I don't do the work. You're using them and they're getting a benefit from you by adding them to your portfolio. And then it allows you to sell more from there. And Kevin, I'm sure that some of the clout that you've got from the work that you've done is, I know some of the people that you're working with have just gone, oh yeah, I saw what you did over here. Or I know that you're working with Jeff and man, can you do that for us?
Yeah. One of my close friends, actually, Mauricio, he
Yep.
asked
Now,
me
yeah.
to help. He already had a website, but we're working on adding more things, rebuilding a few, and get that social proving on the Google side. But yeah, one thing I will add is after a while with the case studies, because it gets easier to manage them. You can put them not in the back burner, but they're slowly still building, and that's an even bigger signal that you can have.
Yep. No, it's great. And it allows you to just have people that will always say, oh yeah, who did your site? When somebody asks who did this, they can go, oh yeah, it was Kevin, or it was, Jeff's team or whoever from there. All right. So I want to kind of lay that groundwork. I know that took a little bit, like 10 minutes or so, to be able to lay that groundwork of like, if you're a new agency, just find somebody that's willing to let you do something for them. Pick your niche, pick your special offering from there. It doesn't matter. We're going to show you what we sold today to these companies, and we'll discuss the whys and the packaging and things like that beforehand, or as we're going through. But it doesn't matter. Okay, you can sell PPC, you can sell lead generation, you can sell AI agents, you can sell website design. Like nothing is ever. You can sell email newsletters and email marketing. Like nothing's ever out of like vogue. It's not. It's all a necessity for a business. Okay. So what we sell and the package that we're talking about today is basically our local boost package. It's AI visibility and a rebrand of a business that needs some help getting back. We're not going to tell the story behind this one client too much, but it's a hardscaping landscaping company out of Phoenix. It's a smaller run company. So we're not, dealing with a multi-million dollar a year business. It's a family run business. I think the wife runs, actually the two that we're talking about today are family run businesses. These are great small businesses as portfolio builders because they get you credibility. They help you build your social proof, and you now can then help them be a stepping stone with you gaining the experience working with them. Because Kevin, you've seen the difficulties of working with a family-run business. Be able to then go work with a larger corporation or a company that maybe does $1 to $5 million a year or 5 to 10 or more. So, Kevin, let's see if we can try sharing your screen. You should be able to click the present on there. Let's see if we can share your screen. It's going to be next to you on the bottom. And then you should be able to share your screen. And then let's see if we can pull that up, and I'll add you to the stage. Because what we're going to do is Kevin and I are going to now walk you through LNS hardscaping. I met the owner of this company. He did some work for me, and then knew what we did as a business and a company. And I never pitched him of who we are. You could go over there, Kevin, or you're still figuring it out? Underneath the image next to your name should be add, present, or invite.
Right. I have it.
Okay, so then just share your screen. Oh, there we go. Okay. I can see the level page, so we're good. Okay, I'll add to the stage here in a second. So as we add this to the stage, there we go. This is a hardscaping company that has done some work for me. I've seen him around. And after I actually left the area, he sent me a text. They were using a larger, big box, big name marketing company, which I won't mention here, but some of you guys already talk about it. And I think they kind of just got put into the recurring billing thing, and they were asked to do a couple of tasks. And Kevin, having had to manage them a little bit, can see how it could get a little bit cumbersome or taxing to get the information, and the company wasn't putting in the effort, and the owners weren't sure what they needed to get from there. So this kind of sits stagnant, right? So when we got reached out to, I basically beat the package pricing by what they were offered by $100 a month, and we offered them a little bit more for services because we could from there. We went in and we did a quick audit. I grabbed what their proposal was from that other company, and we basically looked and said, what could we do from here? The biggest thing that they needed was they needed a website refresh. And this other company had done the website for them, but kind of held them hostage where if they stopped paying, the website got taken down and the hosting was no longer there. And they didn't even have access to their domain name. We had to go get it because it was sitting somewhere else. They didn't know how to actually do it. It was sitting on Wix or something like that. It was on Wix, right, Kevin?
Yeah, Wix. Well, it took like 2 weeks to get the domain name back.
Yeah. So, I mean, we charged them $1,500 a month for this local boost package. And the first month was all about getting everything connected and situated. Could we have charged $3,500 for this website refresh or the complete rebuild? Yes, absolutely. Kevin, do you want to just, I'm going to take us off the stage and put us down below here. I'm going to put just the whole video up. Can you just show the page and kind of what it looks like and what we built for them? And then you just pull up their main site. You're pulling up the Lovable page. I want to see their actual live account from there. So as you do that, what Kevin was able to do was we took some information from their previous site, which I think we were able to go grab or have from there. And then, Kevin, did you use Claude with this, or were you using just Lovable at the time?
At the time, Claude wasn't connected to Lovable yet, so I use Lovable on
just Lovable. Yep. So this is a hardscaping and landscaping company, and just by going in, and we had a program called SiteSpark that taught this, but as you can see, Kevin just went out and we just grabbed a couple of their photos from their actual clients. We had some of those set in of what they had done, and these are all real client photos, right? I just want to make sure I'm correct.
Yeah, these are 100% real.
Yeah, so these are real client photos. They're not AI generated. I want to make sure I wasn't saying something that wasn't correct here. From there, and then Kevin went in and just used Lovable to refresh and create them a website. So you don't need to be a designer. You don't need to be somebody that's super technical. If you can have a conversation with an AI chat, you can go out there and you can build a website. Okay. So this website, because I know the owner a little bit and he's done some work for me before in the past, and I knew his budget was restricted, we wanted to bring him on board and kind of help him out and build this niche out for us. And I want to see, honestly, Kevin's talent and skill to see what he could do with this. I just let Kevin run with it from here. Kevin, how long did this take you to go out there and do?
Around a day. And then adding a few thing by thing. So what took more time was finding pictures, getting real images, and trying to like adjust the before and afters, but I would say a day and a half.
Cool. So that's one piece of the core, right? So a day, so let's call it 8 to 15 hours worth of total work, right? So that if you did this entire thing in just a month, that's $100 an hour that you were billing from there, right? And that's obviously that is not good enough for what we want to do. But if it was, hey, you were just starting out, brand new agency, and you were trying to figure this out, and you were at the time figuring out Lovable, telling it what to do, just having a conversation with the little chat on the side, it was pretty simple to do.
Yeah.
And the AI now has gotten better since that point. That's the one thing that I hate. Well, I love and hate is like what we were doing 2 months ago isn't as good as what we can do today because the AI has evolved so much as we go. So they needed the website because they lost their website. So we sold a core package. Now that local boost package includes a couple other components as well. The nucleus of everything that they are offered is this: the Google business profile and the website. Those are the core. Those are the two main pieces because you technically really don't even need a website. If you have a great Google business profile, you should have a website, right? Everybody's business should. But if they only have a Google business profile, we can work on it from there. So Google business profile optimization, we need to go through it and set that up as well. Website, we've actually shown that website from there. Google reviews, right? So obviously we're tying in our software, Reviewly.ai, with that to help generate the reviews for the new service offerings that they have from there. And then we need to make awareness for the company, right? So we took the core of the Google business profile and the website. We're generating reviews for that. What other things could we do that would make sense for us to offer a package in a local boost package? For a hardscaping company, they have the ability to do social posting. They have the ability to add content because they already had an Instagram page and they had a Facebook page, and they were pretty dead, weren't they?
Absolutely. That's zero traffic, no images, no posts.
Yep.
And
so we started that because that was really minimal effort for you, maybe an hour setup, and you automated it. From there, how did you do that? Actually, can you log into the software and show that?
Loud AF?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, one second.
So while you do that, and then and open up the GBPLY as well. We also set them up with. Do you have that one open or no?
Yeah, it's open.
Okay, let's open up that one. So let's talk about this real quick. So the core nucleus, the website and the Google business profile, we actually also have a package where we offer a software. Actually, one of the only one that's not ours or related to us specifically is a software company called GBPLY. It's out of the UK, and this allows us to manage and help optimize the Google business profile for this business. Now, do you need this software to be able to go in and do the manual work and fill out all the FAQs and do that? No. Could you go in and could you update the content on a day-to-day basis? Yeah, for sure. But you can see their profile score. There's like 80% complete. There's some things that we need to do from here. We can see the profile views. They've had 100 profile views in the last 30 days. I would bet that they had a fraction of that, if not single digits, before you started working on this, Kevin.
Yeah, they had like 6 or 7 views a day. And yeah, the 82%, there's some other things that, because it's a local service area, that you can't complete.
You can't complete. Yep, because they're working out of their house or their local service area. Anna wants to know what it is. Actually, Anna, I'm going to give all the tools that we're using into the chat here for you guys. Actually, I'm going to go ahead. I'll put those in at the end because that way we can talk about anybody that wants to talk about those tools. But this is the tool that we're using to manage the Google business profile. You need access to manage or to own the Google business profile, right? In some cases, I'm the owner of the profile. In most cases, all you need is management access. Let the business owner manage it from here. And that's one of the big things with our agency, and that I take, maybe pride in, I guess, if you will. Let's see if that makes this a little, I don't like that one. where if we create your website, we buy your domain, we host your stuff, and you stop paying me, I give it to you. There are agencies out there that will like hold it hostage or just turn it all off, right? We'll spend the time trying to give it to you, but after 30, 60 days, you're not going to get it. So for us, we just ask to be the manager of the Google business profile. If I create the Google business profile, and I have, Kevin, some of the companies I've created it for, and it's gone downhill, I've actually transferred ownership to them, and I've gotten removed from that Google business profile. Instead of me owning it and doing nefarious things or anything like that, just give it to them and move away. It's not worth the effort. Even if they owe you money, it's not worth the pain. Just move on from there. So be a manager at least of these so you can connect to the right accounts, and then they can always remove you as the admin if they don't want your agency or marketing system later. People like, are you leasing the site? Look, nowadays, the way I look at it is it's your asset. You're paying me to help manage it and build it. If you don't want to work with me, I'm going to give you the keys, and then you can go on from there. It also allows what we're going to see in the second example here shortly for somebody to come back to you, right? I have a client that didn't necessarily need us, or they think they needed us, and now they've come back and need me to help them. And that's one of the ones that we're going to work on and talk about here in a little bit. So we set up the Google business profile. We connect it from there. So we've built the website, right? We did that in the first month. We did it kind of in the first week from there. The second step was make sure we had access to the Google business profile, optimizing it the best that we could, because it's a service area business. Kevin, there's only so much that you could do with that. We need to make sure that the service area is right. Our second client, they're nationwide, so their pin is like in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. We got to fix that for them as well. They're a service area business too. And then thirdly is after generating the reviews, we need to get social content and social proof. And they had nothing on their Facebook page and their Instagram page are the two content pieces they had, right? They're not creating any content for that. But you used our own tool, Loud AF, to help them generate content. Is that right?
Yep.
Cool. Let's pull that one up and show that. So I still see the Google business profile screen. Let's pull that up. Let's go through that.
Here's Loud AF.
Cool. All right. And Steve, thanks for sharing that. I'll give you guys my links to everything here in a little bit.
Let me open up their Facebook page.
Yeah. So Bijana, great question. Do you get payment in advance? Yes, absolutely. Unless it's a personal friend of mine, I do not start work until they've paid the invoice. And Kevin will tell you this because we had an issue with a client where we started work for them and I forgot that I was only billing them because I didn't know how long the initial work was going to take to get access. I didn't put them on a subscription. So we tried to get our subscription started. It took us a month. So they didn't even have anything coming in for about 3 or 4 weeks. We turned everything off. And then when they paid again, we turned it back on. And we weren't being rude about it for lack of a harsher term. We definitely weren't trying to be rude. Then about it was like, hey, we're trying to get paid. And they were notoriously slow for just meeting us to get things done. So once they paid, everything got turned back on from there. All right. So Kevin, he's gonna laugh. So we're in not necessarily the sexiest space with this. We're not in the space where like you can create all this we're not doing baking, right? Like this is hardscaping and landscaping. And the next company we're going to talk about is moving. And the owner's like, and the owner's wife is like, well, there's not really any content. If we're not doing moves, we don't have any. I'm like, I call the BS flag on that. We actually have a tool that will help you create content. So Kevin, you're using our own tool with Loud AF to go out there and you're writing what carousels on their Instagram and maybe their Facebook account, right? Every day.
Yeah.
Or a couple times a week.
Every morning before we do our morning meeting, I try to build a carousel and schedule it. As often as I can to have at least 3 posts a week. And it's as simple as just telling the carousel. I don't have to give it a whole paragraph. Just 5 tips for keeping your pergola clean. and it's going to build it for us.
Yep. And then you could go into we have a Claude MCP with this. You can go into Claude and it can actually create a 30-day calendar around this. But the biggest thing I want to say is like, you can go and grab ideas from other hardscaping, landscaping companies that are out there on TikTok, on Instagram. You can pull from RSS remixers with Loud AF, even some videos, some shorts and reels, and pull from those and generate content ideas, right? So there's multiple ways to do this, but let's pull up their Instagram account and let's pull up their Facebook page. I know I follow one of my accounts on there because I see them once in a while from there.
Yeah. All right, here's the Facebook. Share this tab. The one I wanted to show you this first before we took over. Here's the Meta Business Suite site. You can see the statistics. It was pretty flat line before, and then we had this spikes. This is July. It's got to be, yeah, over here. Since
Oh, by the way, Kevin's in Mexico right now, so he's in Cabo San Lucas. So you're going to see this in Spanish. So
right,
actually, this is a great point to make right now. Like, we're working in 2 different languages. So like, if you live outside the U.S., South America, most of Europe and the UK believe they can do this, right? Canada, Australia, or another country or continent, and you're wondering, can I make this work? Yeah, absolutely. Kevin's lives and grew up in Cabo San Lucas, and he's able to do this and work completely remotely. And you watch me build my business because we're friends. We met down in Cabo, and he actually watched me continue to build my company while I was completely out of the country.
So. Yep. Yeah. So here you can see from January to where
nothing, dead, over here, flat line.
And then you can see the spikes. And this is from constant posting. And it's a pretty simple post. Loud AF does really good content, and just sprinkle in some images here and there with a good caption, some like before and after over here. That goes a long way.
Yeah, and it's just activity. It's all we're looking for with this, right? So you can see, just scroll a little bit lower on the page, you can see, and Facebook controls, Facebook and Instagram. You can see some of the posts that are on both.
Yep.
Let's do like one of the ones as the carousel right there. So you've got some pictures from here. The carousels, look at that. It's a couple 8 views, right? So nothing spectacular, but all we're doing is just putting in some content so that you stay active. I can tell you right now, I follow LNS Hardscaping on one of my Instagram accounts, and when I go ahead and log in, they pop up in front of me. I'm like, oh, that's my client, right? They're paying me money, but they're in front of me as we go. You're not going to help them by ignoring their social media. It's brand awareness. And if you're in a boring niche like CPAs, but guess what? There's so many different things CPAs can give, right? Attorneys can give tons of carousel images and tips and things like that. But if you're thinking like hardscaping, right? Roofing can have a few too, depending on the time of year. HVAC can have a few, but like hardscaping or moving, right? Like the wife of the moving company that we're going to talk about here next, she was like, I only post photos of jobs that were completed. I don't know what to post or tips. Like, I don't know how to do them. Like, you don't need to do it every day, but do it like 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Monday, Thursday, Saturday, something like that. It's just about getting in front of people. And, it's those short little tips and bits of information. Now, Kevin's doing it manually, and I think we're going to talk about how we can automate that here after the call. I didn't know he was doing it before our daily. But like, there's ways to have that stuff with Loud AF with MCP pulled in and then automated. So let's talk about what we built. Again?
I do have big batch for the whole week.
I do have batch for the whole week, but still, I mean, you should be able to pull them in, and then you should be able to then just go approve, or create from there. So, but you shouldn't be doing it every day. Like once a week, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and we're done for the client, right? So We helped rebuild their website that had disappeared. We actually went and helped the domain. That's a whole nother story from this. Again, this is our local boost package, right? We went out, we helped rebuild the Google business profile, make sure it's optimized. And then because you're using that software, it's actually posting content there as well. And then their Instagram and their Facebook account went from dead to they're seeing some activity from there. The next step that we are going to talk about is where we are going next with them. So after the first month, and yes, we undersold. Let me just give this to. Oh, what happened, Anna, is they stopped paying the marketing company they were working with. And I thought they had owned the website. The company just took down their website and just stopped talking to them. Like that was it. So we had, like, they didn't even respond to us. We had to go around and find who hosted and realize a small business owner. Kevin got to experience this first time because there's no way I was going to be able to do this. Right. So at the point where we took over, they didn't know who hosted their domain name. And I'm like, well, okay, this other company, you had them before them. So they were hosting on Wix, but then we had to find the registrar. They didn't have the login. So like Kevin had to go through this whole process. So if you're dealing with a smaller business owner, it's a mom and pop type operation, and they've hired somebody that's holding things hostage, you may or may not know. We were to the point where we might have had to go out and like just buy another domain for them from there. And then, yeah. So looks like somebody had to refresh the screen, but you guys are good to go. Okay, cool. All right. So we built a new website. We took control of their Google business profile. Again, even that took a couple meetings with Kevin and the owner's wife and a couple other things from there. We got access to their social medias and we turned everything on. Okay. But now here's where the rubber meets the road. You guys might be like, oh, cool. Like we can charge a monthly for this package and it's a fair package, especially at the rate that we're charging. Okay. I happen to know the person, so we're giving them a little bit of a deal. We're also doing, hey, we've never been in this vertical before, so we're testing some things out. So they're getting a little bit of a special offer from here. But with our local boost package, they qualify based on their service type for Google local service ads. These are specific ads that I'm not going to get into and train you guys on LSAs right now, but they're a different type of ad that actually Google is now going to be merging into their main ad account in probably the fall. But for right now, they're separate and they're only for service-based businesses. And guess what? Hardscaping, landscaping is a service-based business that qualifies. So because we own the companies, other than Lovable and the GBPLY software, we own Reviewly, we own Loud AF. Those don't really cost us anything from there. And even if we had all these tools at $100 a month, it's $400 a month to have a client that's paying me $1,500. That's pretty damn good. Okay. But they need leads coming in the door. And I've talked to the owner and he's like, Jeff, like my profit, my money is going back into you guys to generate leads and to get things going. And you know, how much of that I believe it's true is pretty much probably a good amount, right? He's probably surviving, paying for all his bills, his family, and then the extra he's reinvesting back into his business. So part of that package after the initial setup, which was underpriced, but it was a goal for us to get out the door to help get Kevin experience, us get a referral in the market, is now it's $1,500 a month, but it includes local service ads. In that $1,500 budget, $500 of it goes to ad spend from there. And we're now working with that client to go in, and we are now trying to gain access to their local service ad campaigns. I'm assuming you haven't quite got there with them yet on that, Kevin?
No.
Yeah. So,
you already know how it is.
yes. So I know we were trying to get in before this call, but booking the call to get access, because even though we have access to the Google business profile, we're not sure what the other marketing company had done or set up, and we're kind of blocked out of their service ads set up right now. So we'll be doing an update for that when we get that up and running, but that's the next phase for us. So part of the entire package that we created for this company is new website build, Google Business Profile Management, Google review, creation, previous client reactivation for reviews, and then review responses, social posting, and then the local service ads. If you do not have a local service company, you're not going to be doing local service ads. And there's specific categories, which we're not going to get into here, but that's what you need to be able to get going and get those things started from there. That's the big picture of what we're offering. So that's how we're implementing it on a client, right? We've shown you, hey, look, we've created it with Lovable. Here's the exact service package we're offering, the pricing and positioning of it. From there, what are we doing for the Google Business Profile? We've optimized it, right? We're going to check their hours. We're going to check their hours when it comes to holiday hours and things like that. We're going to update it. We're going to respond when Google asks us about it. The GBPLY software actually goes out and does some content management. The reviews, every job that he does, all his previous clients, he's going to have our physical devices scanning and tapping, asking for the reviews. And then that part's on him, but we can help him get more awareness, more jobs by social posting through Loud AF on his Facebook and Instagram accounts. And then we're going to turn on LSAs for this client from there. Kevin, is there anything I missed with this as we went through?
Nothing.
Cool. All right. Now, any questions on this client? Just put a Q in the chat for anybody that's here on the StreamYard live with us, and I'll see if I can answer it. But if not, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go and I'm going to pull up my next page or the next steps here for us. Let me go ahead and make sure that I can share my screen without anything popping up. Where'd you guys go? Hold on a second. I'm going to move StreamYard off. And let's go ahead. I'm going to share my screen. And I'm actually going to do my entire screen, and we're going to show the center one here. You should see Google. Yep, cool. All right, so that's my screen here. I'm going to pull up. So there's something that we run. Make sure this is the right client. Nope, that's not the right one. Where is it? Should we desktop? I just pulled it up for you, Kevin, just a little while. Kevin, can you do me a favor? Can you drop me in the state 48 audit, the proposal, and the fix it checklist for me? I don't know where I put that.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, Kevin sends me that. I'll tell you guys the story as we get it. So for some reason, I thought I could just download it from our Slack, but I pulled it from a different one. Let me see. Yeah. For some reason, I pulled the old example one from the tacos place. Okay. So, well, Kevin sends that over to me in Slack. Just let me know what's in Slack because I got that on Do Not Disturb. I have a client that I've actually done website work before, previously. We've gone out and it was probably 8 years ago. So significantly long amount of time from there. And yes, JC, we have training on websites, prompts, etc. Yeah, those are all inside. Actually, here, let me just pull this up for any of you guys that want. Those are all inside agencystarterkit.com. And you can purchase access to those kind of things. And we actually walk you through all of that. And then just ask inside that training from there. Okay, cool. All right, let's get back to it. Back to the comments from here. Looks like there's been some refresh issues with StreamYard, but hopefully you guys will see this on demand. It'll get a good recording locally for me and Kevin and upload together. So apologies for any hiccups that you guys have with the live stream. And then Ben asked a question of, go ahead, Kevin.
It's in there. Slack.
Okay, perfect. So what do you charge for LSAs? Great question, Ben. It's part of that $1,500 a month package, and then we budget up to $500 a month to the local service ads because all we're doing is maintaining a package from there, and we kept it simple from there. Okay, some other great questions. Do you find it more practical and worthy for both sides to get a new domain and build a totally new website instead of struggle to get back to rebuild the old one? So we were going to give them about a week or two. That's a great question. I should pull that back up. before I went out and bought a new domain, because I was going to keep it locally with like Cave Creek or North Phoenix Hardscaping as their company URL while we continue to work at it. The other company, the bigger box marketing agency, was just not talking to them because they weren't paying them, and they had communication issues from the start. So we knew that the registrar was somewhere. We just had to work with them to get it from there. What exactly was your proposal to them? Ooh, it's a great question. We used our onepager.ai proposal, and the proposal was, we're going to rebuild your website. We're going to do your social media. We're going to, which was not included with the previous company, we're going to do your Google review management. From there, we're going to do your review reels and your review carousels with our Review Studio app as well as you generate those new reviews. And we're also going to manage up to $500 a month budget with local service ads. All I did was I took the previous proposal that they had already agreed to, took out some of the garbage stuff that they had, which was like, we're going to manage your CRM and a couple other things and stuff that they weren't even going to use, matched it, and then made it $100 cheaper. I just like the round number from there. So that's what we did. I used a tool that we have internally because we had not fully built the first answer formula yet with our one-page proposal software. And I went in, and I'll just give that to you guys too. I'm going to give you all of these as we go through, but it was my one-page proposal software from there. Cool. All right. Frozen screen issues. You guys should be good to go. Brian says, are you subtracting $500 for the LSA ads, or is that an addition? I'm just up to $500 in ad spend. So we're figuring we're going to make at least $1,000 a month off this client. And if we have to subscribe to any other tools or software from there. Again, this is probably a $2,000, $2,500 marketing package. We're using this as experience gaining for some of my newer team members. We're also using this as a case study in the space. I do have some other hardscaping concrete type companies I can go after that I know of. So that's why it's set up. And then it was a great idea to go, hey, look, at the time, it's the middle of the summer. It's 110 degrees, 40 plus degrees Celsius in the desert. They're not getting a ton of business right now. So they're not going to subscribe to a $3,000 a month package. That's going to be it. If we get to a point where they are getting good leads and they're coming in through what we're doing with our service ads, we can then up the ad management costs and then maybe go to $2,500 a month with up to $1,000 ad spend from there. And then, yep. And I just talked about what goes in the $1,500 package from there. Whoop, that's me. And it's $1,500 a month total for our local boost package, Rico. And then that includes the ad spend up to $500 a month. So if we spend 200, obviously we want to spend 4 to 5. But we, set up from there. And then Brian, I'm not going to go over somebody else's software. I'm not really selling stuff as an affiliate right now. Just DM me in school and we can go from there. And then what was the initial time frame agreed to for the service? So that's why we didn't bill them on an auto recurring monthly right away, because we didn't know how long it was going to take to clean everything up. Kevin did it pretty quick in like 21 days to like basically 3 to 5 weeks. But then we thought they were going to auto rebill because that was on me. I totally forgot. And I admitted it to the company and took full responsibility and accountability for it. But then it took us a couple more weeks to get them on the rebill. And then once they did, we turned it back on. So
they did have like 2 extra weeks of content already.
Yeah. I was like, hey, I didn't go. I was like, I thought they were going to rebill. I didn't see that. And then go from there. So, okay. There's that. So we answered all the questions on the first client. Let's talk about the second one. State 48 moving. I know the owner. They actually helped me move multiple times. I could say that we're friends in a way. It's probably why we're helping them at the way we're doing. I also told them that if I'm going to help you at the rate that I'm helping you with, that Kevin, can you pull up their main site as well too? I see that you already pulled up the other one. I'm going to use you as an example, right? So we about 8 years ago redid their website. And it came out good for the time. But it was outdated. One of my previous staff members who doesn't work for me anymore, hasn't worked for me for like probably 3-4 years now, maybe 2 to 3 years, like built the site, and it was good for the time, but it hasn't evolved, and it's like 8 years old. So I'm going to pull this one up to the screen from there. Oops, hold on a second. Let me turn that one off. Wrong one. Hold on a second. Let me put this up there. There we go. Okay. Let me see that. Nope. Sorry, Kevin. Just going to have to remove that from the stage. Put that back up. All right. That's my example there. Sorry, guys. All right. Some StreamYard screen sharing issues. All right. So this is what his site, I think it currently looks like this. We haven't updated and approved the new site, correct? We were waiting for this call.
Yep.
Okay. So you can see that Kevin's got, the site. He didn't touch this. This is an older site. It's got their truck, some reviews, and some basic stuff that we did. I don't remember what we charged them. It was a one-time setup, basic 5-page website, just because he didn't have anything. He was getting started. Then, guess what? They got busy. And they forgot about us. And it was like, cool, we're busy. Thanks, guys, for the setup. We don't really need you anymore. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, no hard feelings. Like, my wife is going to run our socials. We're going to do all the pictures and all the great stuff. Well, guess what? They moved me from Phoenix to San Diego. Me and the owner had a couple conversations. And I've been here for 8 months now, 9 months now, something like that. And out of the blue, I get a text message, hey, I need help. Where it's quiet in the middle of August in a down economy in Phoenix. Imagine that. No one's moving in August and July. Sorry, we're still in July. June and July. So he called me I think it was the end of June, beginning of July. We started having the conversation from there. So holiday weekends, him traveling, me traveling. We had to talk to a couple weeks ago. So we started looking into what they've got and what they're doing. And this is another similar package that we're offering to this client, and a couple of interesting parts for this. Number one, the website refresh. So Kevin, I'm going to pull up, let me figure out how to do this again without me messing to it. Well, let me see if we can pull it back up. Cool. All right. There we go. I think I had me on the stage, not you. All right. So Kevin, this is our main website now. Let's talk about, there you go. This is the new website. Go back. Right. This is the older site. You can see it. It's WordPress. It's, I had a WordPress guy do it right now. It did the job, but it's not, it's going to close some deals. It's not doing what did Lovable do? And how long did this site take you now that you've got some experience?
Oh, this took a couple of hours. Claude did most of the work. I just had Claude analyze their previous website and told Claude to improve where needed improvements and add a few things here and there, and this is what came out, which to me it's pretty good.
It's a lot better than what they had, right? So we did a website refresh as part of this package from here. Can you pull up their Google business profile? Because
Yep.
I mean, we already have permission to pull that up. So from there.
Yeah.
So one of the big things that we went in, and I already had management access to their Google business profile from here. And then, I was a manager. Maybe it kind of originally created and handed it over, I think is what happened from there. You can see that they've got 27 5-star reviews, but they're not really doing too much with that. And obviously Kevin's again in Mexico, so some of the stuff's in Spanish. So don't worry about some of the weird name changes like Estados Unidos and Opiniones, which is the reviews from there. The big thing I want to point out is where are they located, Kevin? They're off the coast of Seattle.
They're at the border.
Yeah. So is Google going to show this company to anybody? No. Because of how they're set up and what their service area is. He's like, oh yeah, we transport to anywhere in the US. Well, of course, but where's your service area? It's going to be Phoenix and the surrounding areas where he's at, or the state of Arizona, right? Primarily, where does most of his business come from? The state of Arizona, primarily in the Phoenix region. So we're going to first narrow this in when we start. We haven't started on this client. So we're going to go in, we're going to narrow this in for the client. And again, it's just fill in the blanks. We're going to go into the Google business profile, and when it says service area, we're going to remove the United States, and we're going to start doing the cities in and around Phoenix or the state of Arizona. And it will put him right in there because we want near me searches, right? So let's pick where the top, the owners, they have their own island and they obviously need help. Yeah, exactly. But like, look, I know I played golf with Adam. I've been to his house. He's been to my house. His sons are about the same age as my sons. So like, I know the guy. And when people ask me for help, sure, like here's what it is, here's our rates. And I tend to give a little bit better rates to my friends and family. Kevin's seen it. But look, if you want to go out and do your own, that's fine. I'm not going to hound you like I wasn't checking on his stuff. But look, they made some adjustments and they totally royally messed it up. So this is one of the reasons why they're not getting phone calls. So this is one of the things that we're going to fix. We upgraded their website. We're going to fix their Google business profile. And then Kevin, could you pull up their social media as well real quick? And this was a point of discussion because when I called Adam, one of the times his wife picked up and I'm talking to Amanda and she's like, hey, Jeff, Adam driving. I'm like, well, yeah, I can tell unless your voice changed a few octaves, and telling her what we were going to do and, what it was going to cost. And she's like, it's slow right now. And I'm like, well, we got to get you posting. We got to get content, the AI with AI trust signals and all that. We ran them through our AI visibility scorecard. We ran them through the first answer formula, which I'll show you guys here in a little bit. And she wants to still be a little bit hands-on with it, right? They want to keep their package a little bit lower, and they're friends of ours or mine. Kevin doesn't know them. So we're going to help them out. So
it's actually private. I don't have access to it. Look at that. It says that either the owner has it private.
They deactivated at the moment. Okay. Yeah. So I don't know what happened to that. Find them on Instagram real quick. I don't know what happened to that. Maybe she took it down. That's interesting to me. But they weren't posting on social media. And one of her biggest discussion points with me, I won't say complaints, but discussion points for me was that let me just download these things real quick. It didn't have any content to post. And I'm like, well, there's plenty of content to post. Like, what do you mean? And then, we were just kind of talking about it and she just doesn't know what to post. Well, guess who solves that? I was like, I got a software that solves that for you. So were you able to pull it up from their socials or no?
Yeah, I'm not finding the Instagram.
All right, let me see if I can find them real quick.
Yep.
So state 48 moving Instagram. I'll send it to you real quick. Maybe they disabled all of it. Let me see if this is them real quick. For some reason, my Instagram and my web browser don't want to work today. But all right, try that one, Kevin. See if it's them. From there. Oh, I found it. Yeah, it's state 48 moving. Yeah, okay, cool. That is them. All right, so Kevin, when you show it on your screen, then I'll be able to show it from there. So I can see it. Okay, so you can see that they've got a little bit of followers. They posted Memorial Day. They posted July, right? And they're using AI flyers. You can see, or ChatGPT to create their flyers and do stuff. But are they really posting? No. And there's nothing of value. It's just kind of like updates from there, right? And then, so she's trying, but there's, June 18th was the last time they did something. So 6 weeks ago, right? And then 9 weeks ago. So once every month they're doing something.
Twice a month, once a month.
Yeah. So they're not really marketing or advertising. It's barely alive. So what we're going to do is we're going to come in and we're going to set up Loud AF to go help do tips and tricks on moving. This is what she should be doing on a regular basis. And we're going to teach them how to do it as part of the package because I do know them pretty personally. So we're going to help them as they go. So as we set this up, I'm going to move myself off the screen again. I'm going to share my screen. Let's go ahead and add to the stage before presenting other media. Oh, I got to remove Kevin from the stage. There you go. Not Kevin. I got to remove your screen. And then what we did was we actually used, oh, wow, they're lower than the taco shop. I didn't know that. We actually used the first answer formula. Okay. So this is the Claude MCP or the Claude plugin that we created, which is the Claude skill that goes out there and does a complete of their overall AI search visibility. They're like, oh, Jeff, we're not getting any leads from there. Okay, well, let's take a look. Okay, the site needs to be refreshed. We did a good job 8 years ago. It needs a little bit of work. Google Business Profile. We looked at that. Needs a little bit of work. Let's talk about everything else. Okay, we talked about why it matters. 3 things that matter the most. Real searches for the business, they're not showing up in any sort of AI search. A lot of that has to do with how they've actually built their presence with the Google Business Profile. Different mentions, Camelback Moving. I've actually used them, or actually called them before I actually called Adam and hired them. 2-minute trucks real popular. I've not done creative moving. I'm actually surprised that Moving Team 6 isn't on here. That's how I found Adam. He actually started State 48 after leaving that company from there. So you can see who's beating him, what's fueling his AI visibility. So we created a complete proposal of what they can do, right? Claim and verify the Google Business Profile. Ask for reviews, everything you can do each week, be able to walk through from there. So you can set this up where then you can do a proposal with the first answer formula. I'm not going to walk through the proposal because we set them up with our local boost package, but we're also going to give them the fix guide. Okay. This is where we did a skill that goes out there and it creates, here's what you need to do to fix your overall AI visibility. You're at 10 out of 30. The website data, Google Business Profile, reviews, and listings. And it gives it to them in that order to help them with the website because they don't have the technical side of things from there. Okay. After that, all their different Google Business Profile content, how to get their FAQ page. Kevin can drop this right into Lovable and tell it how to add it from there. Service page sections, making sure it builds that as well. And then here's the big stuff in the Google Business Profile. Here's what we need to do. And it's already giving them what to put in to the Google Business Profile to help improve their overall AI visibility. It's going to walk them through all of that from there. Okay. Category recommendations. Their primary. Yep. They're a moving company. Don't move it. Secondary, right? They didn't even think about moving and storage. I know that he'll actually set up storage for you because I've used them. Packing service. Every mover does packing services because they pack your stuff. Okay. Where is it pulling from? Their services list, their main website from there. Q&A, right? See how to properly seed the Q&A. How to create 30 days of posts. That software that we talked about earlier will do that. Or you can create that. You can pull it from Loud AF as well. Create the review engine. This is things that she can be doing. Making sure the listings are right on all these major sites. Google Business Profile, Bing, Home Advisor, Yelp, BBB, Great Guys Moving, Facebook, Apple Maps, Nextdoor, any of the data aggregators. So we can help them with that if we wanted to. It talks about the different times. You can spend 3 hours doing all of this and then mark it as they go from there. The next step after that is going to be doing content on a regular basis and turning on the ads. It's as simple as that. Does that make sense to everybody? Give me a yes or a no in the chat for anybody that's on here right now. Set that up. And then what am I doing for the overall audit? Yeah, we're using a Claude skill, and it's, let me find it real quick. It's in here. Where's the first answer formula? Oh, there it is. I'll give you guys the first answer formula. That's how we use the prospecting tools for that. Yep, it's a one-time payment Claude skill that you can add, and it builds the audit and does the work for you. It says yes. Everybody's saying yes. You know, it's making sense to each of you guys for everybody that's on there. Cool. Awesome. They got a Y as well. All right. Brian says, sorry, Anna asked, do you use the Claude AI skill to do the audit? Yes, that's the first one I showed you. From there, again, you don't have to show them the audit, right? The way I taught it in the first answer formula is you go out there, you create, you show them the audit. We want to frame the conversation that we're having with that business owner before we meet with them. I want to have as much information as possible. Take a look at their website, run the skill, look at the Google Business Profile, check at least the Facebook page and Instagram at a minimum, right? I'm not so aware if they're doing TikTok and things like that, but you can see if they're doing that or at least attempting it. Do they have a LinkedIn page as well? You can get that deep, but at least do Facebook and Instagram from there to see if they're actually doing anything, and then see if they're running ads, right? Website, Google, check the reviews on their Google business profile. Are they doing anything on the socials? And then are they running any sort of ads from there? Because our next step after we clean up this first bit, again, these are real world clients. These are real businesses that we are working on right now. You can come back and check in 30 days, 2 days from now, 2 years from now, hopefully, and they're still clients. And you'll see that this is what we're doing. For AI visibility, for you to show up in local search, you have to be consistent on a regular basis. If you're a brand new agency, everything that we've shared to this point is not out of your reach. 4 months ago, Kevin had never done what you guys are seeing him do right now. I didn't bring my guy that's been with me for 4 years or 8 years building websites. Because of AI, because of the tools, because of the capabilities that things have, Kevin's got an opportunity and advantage now over most other agencies because he understands how to sell and operate within that package from there. Kevin, anything you want to add with that before I go over to Brian? Question.
You said it all, Jeff. And also, I think that someone that already has experience with WordPress will find it, a relief to be able to do everything on Lovable. I had a bit of experience with WordPress. It's a pain. It's a pain just to get something going. Everything breaks every now and then. Plugins don't work with each other. It's so much
I
easier.
only use WordPress for client sites that were, because I think Lovable SEO is getting there, and it might be there. It's getting there. That was the biggest gripe with everybody. Great, but they don't have the SEO like WordPress. Okay. The only time, and I haven't built a brand new major client site for 5 figures, and probably, I haven't quoted one in about a year, probably in about 6 months to 9 months have we actually started a project at that level. We were using WordPress, and specifically at the time because AI had not caught up and Lovable had not caught up, because we need to do regular blog content and we need the categories and the structure of the site. And it's a known commodity. Go with the devil you know versus the devil you know, right? However, when we're rebuilding sites, or if I'm building a website that does not require the depth and intricacy of a 100-page website, we're doing a simple 5-page, 7-page, 10-page small business website, Lovable all day long. All of my landers all day long. Some of my new software company pages, Lovable all day long. That is the way I look at it, and the way we're going to use it moving forward for ourselves. I think the SEO component is going to get there pretty quickly if it's not already there. I have the staff. I don't study every little bit of SEO every day. I have people that they get paid to do those kind of things. And when it gets there, I'll be able to tell you guys, hey, it's there and here's why from there. Okay.
The Lovable already added a way to do schema builder with Claude.
So there you go. Kevin knows more about this than me, right? Because he's in there doing it. So, and actually everybody on our team has Claude Pro. Like that now. You guys all have access to whatever the latest, greatest AI tool that you want. They all have it, and Claude Pro is what everybody has right now. So, cool. All right. Great question from Brian. Does Loud AF allow you to white label and actively manage multiple accounts? So you can manage multiple accounts and connect to multiple accounts inside of Loud AF. There is no white label with that. There's no need, because you should be doing it and then just publishing it as long as you have access to them. That's the way we do it. We tag it and flag it from there. Or you can tell each of them to go get their account and pay us and then manage it for them from there. So what do you do for AI visibility? So I teach that inside of the Agency Starter Kit program. So if you want to learn a little bit more about that, you can go to agencystarterkit.com, JC, and I literally talk about that, what we do for AI visibility. Here's the short answer for you, though, to give you an answer today. So the number one thing you do for Google for AI visibility, first of all, I had a call with my team at 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock this morning on this about AI visibility specifically. ChatGPT is what the majority of consumers use. Agencies, like 9% of search is Claude because of agencies like us. We're technical. Then you got Gemini and Perplexity. Those are the big ones. Okay. Perplexity is second, Gemini's third, and then there's Claude. Majority of search is through ChatGPT, and it makes sense. It truly does. Also, because if I ask, my Apple device, I won't say the name because it's going to all go off. Something, it's going to go, hey, would you like ChatGPT to search that for you? A lot of times, especially when I'm driving, I just say it in the car to my iPhone. So that's why, right? So part of Apple search as well. If Siri can't just give you a direct answer, it asks ChatGPT. So we optimize for that. Well, Google has also put out what AI trust signals they're looking for, and we have a whole ton of training and content on that. It's the properly optimized Google business profile, and the website has the build and the structure for AI to be able to read it. But after that, how do you get that to go on a regular basis? It's AI trust signals. Those are created, and you can even manufacture them in a way for context, location, services through reviews and review responses. That is the number one thing you can do. Are they recent? Are they real customers? Are they relevant to the search term? Are the contextual keywords in there? Absolutely. And if they don't make it in the review, you can sure as heck put them in every single response for the reviews that come in. So we talk about the overall AI visibility and what you can do for a business, but we tell a business owner the number one thing they can do to help themselves, because we're doing all this other stuff with content, right? We're helping update the profile. The website is the Google business profile reviews, JC, from there. So that's what we do for AI visibility. All right. How do you structure the deal if we know the owner and he wants us to teach him how to do things? Great question, Biljana. Okay. So that's what happened in this case. So, hey, look, it's going to be a one-time fee to get you up and running for the cost of getting these going. You can pay this service. This is what I'm using from here. I've done this for my own company where I've hired an SEO expert and they're like, hey, it's $5,000 more to teach your people, or it's like $3,000 a month. I'm like, well, after 2 months, I should have been able to teach my own team how to do it anyway. So I would pay for that additional, right? And that's for like a major SEO company at like $3,000 plus a month. I would say if you hire me as a consultant, I'll give you 2 hours a month of our time to help train your team. We're going to give them the checklist. You can give them the fix-it checklist, and we'll do 2 check-ins twice a month for up to 1 hour to make sure that they're doing everything they're supposed to be doing. And if they're not doing it, then we can take it back over from there. And what you do is you cut your package down, figure out what your costs are, your hard costs for any services that you provide from there. But I'm not just going to tell them how my agency runs. Okay. If there's certain things that like, hey, I know the owners of this company and she wants to run the socials. Okay, cool. Go get my other software company, Loud AF. We're going to help set it up for you and you're going to run it. But if you call me back after this, my price goes up because we've already taught you how to do it. We're going to go from there. So that's how you manage and set this up. All right. Those are the 2 big clients that I wanted to talk about. In the next 5 minutes or so before we wrap this up, Kevin, we have another handful of clients that when I was down in Cabo, was it like 2 months ago now? I was down there maybe 3 months ago.
3 months. 3 months.
So if you want to pull up Amargo from there, Kevin actually, so it was 3 months ago or so when Kevin started working for me, we got a friend that opened up his own speakeasy restaurant and coffee shop, a cocktail room and coffee shop down there. They don't have any food from there. And I've actually shown this one before. This is obviously in Spanish because it's down in Cabo, Mexico. And you can click on the English one from there. So you can click on English or Spanish and it will actually go back and forth from there. And actually I make an appearance in the right hand of this video. Right there is me getting up. Kevin didn't tell you he's getting up and go out speakeasy door. But anyway, I find that funny. But this is the business website that we built. And this is really one of my best friends. So I will tell you right now, I did this. Well, actually, Kevin did this website for a very small fee. I didn't actually take any profit off of this. Kevin came in, took the pictures. That's Hector. Actually, he's a friend of both of ours. I've known him for 4 or 5 years now. I actually know some of the additional staff like Antonio. We've hung out like at my house and things like that. So this website and this build was something that we've been telling him, hey, you need to do for your company and your business. And I'm down here. I actually was there mopping the floor and helping him clean up the first 4 nights of them opening, helping them lug stuff from Costco onto the cart. So I was there hands-on in the business. That's how like close I am with the owner. So a little bit different. Okay. This is where like Bijana, you're talking about like, hey, do you teach the owner what you're doing? Things like that. So there was a cost involved to get his website up and running, and his Google business profile wasn't like fully correct, or Kevin, somebody had set it up for him, and Hector's like, oh yeah, we got it going. And then we look into it like, no, you don't, dude. Like it's not correct.
Yeah, so, it took about 2 weeks to get him to give me access and everything.
Yeah. So let's talk about the struggles of like, if you're working with somebody that you're helping get that initial referral with, because he was one of your portfolio builders, right?
Yeah.
So he's my friend. Like, hey, Kevin, just do this for him. We both know him. You live locally with him. I'm going to be down there. So after I was down there, a couple weeks later, Kevin built the site. We went through the struggles of getting the Google business profile. Like, he's a great bartender, but he's terrible at marketing his own business online. He can do it in person, but they're not doing it online, right?
Yeah. Yeah, actually, we still don't have access to his Instagram and Facebook. And we're doing everything through Google and website. And what I loved was that message he sent us recently, Jeff.
Yeah. So I'll see if I can play that. So actually we got a WhatsApp message out of nowhere, right? And we do talk on a weekly basis. So like, I'm not like, out of nowhere, my client sent me this, but he's a friend of ours. I'm going to see if I can play this. Kevin, let's see if it plays. Can you hear that? I'm going to play it a little louder.
No, I don't hear.
Can you hear that or no?
No, I can't.
Okay. So the thing's blocking it out. He just had a Zoom meeting and sent me a message while he was driving, leaving the meeting. Okay. And it was the opportunity to get his speakeasy in the magazine for all of the biggest resorts for a year for a one-time fee for his speakeasy to be advertised in all the resorts so that people that come down there on vacation see him and get more traffic. And in that message, and Kevin, I'll let you tell because you're the one that did the work. What did he say specifically to you that told him how he got that call?
Specifically, the magazine writers like the way the business profile was set and the page. They love the page.
So they love the website that Kevin built. I didn't have anything to do with that. And the Google business profile, how it was optimized. And he does have Instagram, but we don't have access to that yet. His cousin's girlfriend or something like is running it, typical, right? From there. But, and then they are posting and they're doing stuff, but because of him building an audience and starting to build an asset in that area and starting to get reviews, they popped up. And now he has the opportunity to get that company and that business every single month for 12 months in a featured article that's going to go to all of the resorts in the area to help drive not just local traffic, because he gets a lot of locals right now, but tourist traffic as well, which will be a little bit out there. So he sent me a voice message, and then sent Kevin. And it's funny because I always tell him, dude, you need to hire us for your marketing team and you can bring it on, because he is a friend. But like, there's only so much that I'm willing and capable of time-wise to do, right? So he's like, yeah, I know. But it's funny, it's like the little things that we've done already have paid off. Big rewards for him from there. In addition to that, here's the cool part. We've shown you 2 big clients, or 2 decent sized clients. I have a couple big whales as well, which we don't talk about because we want to talk about the starting agencies getting up and running. As you build credibility over time and people know who you are and what you do. And Kevin's accelerated that in the local area because it is a small network, right? It's like 250 to 500,000 people in Cabo and San Jose del Cabo area, something like that. 500,000 people.
Yeah, right. 500,000, close to a million right now, but yeah, but it's not a big city.
Yeah, so it's not huge, but it covers like a pretty big area as well. But in the market, it's people know people, and it's who you know and what you're doing. But people see the website, they see other work being done. We've had a photographer, one of our other friends, while I was there. You're doing some of the you gonna pull it up?
Yeah.
We're gonna do all right. So I'll have Kevin show and tell. So he's now done a photographer website. And what is Daniel just doing the ice cream now as well? So a chef,
Daniel,
primarily.
it's like a catering ice cream delivery.
Do you have the catering website done yet, or no? Or did he not get back to you?
Yeah, I'll pull it up. But it was
Okay, so I'm going to pull up Amargo. So this is the cocktail business, right? So what we've been talking about for the last hour or so with Kevin going out there and doing the work, right, in the local area and in Phoenix for me, for other clients and things like that. And we're creating these local boost packages that has everything involved. He's gotten other referrals in other businesses that have come in and have talked to him and have asked him for his help. So right now I'm seeing Amargo. If you can pull up Carlos's site. So now we've got a photographer that's in the local area. And actually he's now able to come in and do photographs of other clients of Kevin's. Wow, that's beautiful.
Personally, this is my favorite website so far.
All right. Well, then you know what? I'll be quiet. Tell us about why. I've actually not seen this site.
Yeah, so Carlos obviously sends me took about 2.5 weeks to send me the stack of photos that he had. I remember you messaging him like, well, it's this big festival that I'm taking pictures, that will be pretty good. And like, just send the ones that you have and let's get it over with. Let's start building something. And I start working on this one and the portfolio and the Galleria.
Is that Amir?
Yeah, that's Amir.
Yeah, we know Amir. He's a semi-famous singer, right? Out of Toronto.
There's Axel.
Axel, I know Axel too. Yep, I don't know that dog. Daniel.
Yeah.
Yep.
And this is the Galleria.
So he does all these different types of photos. Yeah. And so now he's got other ones that he's done. Yeah, that's a beautiful site. Now, that also has led where we were sitting there with Daniel and with Hector, and you now are building or built Daniel's site as well, right? Yeah. And these are live websites. These are not like, hey, we're in the project. These are already done.
Now, Daniel's was kind of tricky because I only have the pictures that Carlos had taken before. But here what actually took his the pictures.
His old ice cream shop, yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and had Chad build the logo from the cups. That took a while, but yeah.
Yep. And obviously this is in Spanish because he's primarily in Cabo. He only sells to locals. So but yeah, so like you can see that it's built out his site, who we are, what he does, and then that's the first step. Now Google Business Profile, socials, and things like that. And these are your clients, obviously our friends, but now you're managing theirs as part of our portfolio. And then you handle, like, I don't even talk to them. Obviously I talk to them as friends, but like, I'm not talking to them as part of the business from there. But could somebody that's on this call, Brian says, I love the before and after toggle you did on the hardscaping site, right? So that was you just telling chat what to do. Here's Lovable's chat what to do. You just said, hey, here's 2 pictures. Give me a before and after, right?
Yeah, and it was trial and error because it will give me, like first a carousel and then a weird toggle, and I just sometimes Lovable resists you, but you just keep talking, and with Claude is much easier. You don't spend that many tokens because Claude it's more efficient prompting.
Yep. And then here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put in the list of everything that we talked about today on here. Actually, I'll probably put it into 2 chats now. I think it's going to mess it up. This is AI speaking, Jeff. We were letting go. Kevin Kevin is something. Kevin's the man. Yep. So, all right. So there's the prospecting tools. I'm going to see if I can break this up a little bit for you guys. And then for fulfillment, I'll do the Google reviews, which is the primary one here for you guys. Website building, Google Business Profile, and there you go. All right. So those are all the links to all the stuff that we talked about today. going in, right? We're not pitching it. Like if you want to learn about those, go to the links and you get the deal that's there. But those are real clients, right? If you want to accelerate your success, go find friends, family, somebody at the chamber, somebody in a local networking event that you can talk to, that you can have the conversation with, and then go to them and go, I'm building website for small businesses right now. Or, hey, we're looking for 3 case studies to help generate Google Business Profile reviews over the next 30 days. I'd like to highlight your business or use you as a case study. You benefit from me offering you the service for at least the next 30 days for free, and then me being able to use you as an example. I can tell you right now, State 48 Moving gave me permission to show you all their stuff and talk about the truth of their story and how they were good, up and running, and now we can't even see why some of their profile stuff isn't even online. I don't know why their Facebook page is down. Maybe like her page or something got banned. But then talk about, hey, look, you're dead right now. Let me tell that story. That was part of the deal. So I could show this to you guys. Build that up. And now, like you saw with Kevin, a lot of our friends in the area know that Kevin does this now. And they're asking him, how can you do this for me? Or we're closing other deals with that. And this was not a, here's how to sell it, here's how to do your outreach type training. This was all about client fulfillment and accelerating their success. Because when they see the website, when they see the Google Business Profile, when they see the socials coming in, and they start to see that traffic go from 0 to ticking 1 to 10 views a week to 100 views a month, it gets exciting. You can start to get those referrals and ask them from there. That's really the biggest thing for this. And I can tell you that even the biggest clients, ones that I've charged over $50,000 to get started, to redo everything of their website. And I told them it's going to take us 90 days to go in and dig everything out and do all the work. After 45 days, 60 days, guess what? They get antsy. Lucky for me, well, I mean, it was strategic for me. I buffered. We were done before the 90. We weren't doing 120 days worth of work. I buffered in there. They got their first Google lead. Right after they were asking me, how long is it going to take? All of a sudden, Google started indexing their site because they had lost almost everything. And from that point forward, it was like, you showed me that you can do the website. You showed me that you're building out the profiles. You're showing me the socials. What about this? What about this? What about this? And it's never stopped. It's always, how do we do more and more and more? Because we do not implement something until we've already done it and proven it. Okay. And that's what we want to show you guys here. Can I put these links in a doc for you? Yes. Matter of fact, I don't know. I don't think I can share. Can I share with viewers? No, I can't. That's the on-demand. Media assets. I'm trying to see if I can upload a PDF for you guys in here. I can do it in GoToWebinar. I can't do it on StreamYard. Well, I guess that's why, one of the reasons why, to go back to one versus the other. Let me just see this person. Yeah, what I'll do is I have the PDF. So I will put who was it just asked that? Sorry, I just lost the comments. Craig, I will put it in a doc for you guys as well. And then yeah, Brian has a link. I have a document. It's sitting there, but I'll set this up from there. And then Lucia says, glad this is being recorded. Awesome. And then Brian, great question. What tools do you feel get businesses the most leads? I'm having success doing retargeting. It would be nice for them to get more visitors. Lead generation, ads. I mean, you're paying for the traffic and the leads. Kevin will tell you that we've paid for leads. We paid for ads. He's going to be on site again this week, training more outbound dialers and BDRs. We're dialing anywhere from 300 to soon to be 1,000 businesses a day, calling to get them. Obviously, if you're doing this for a client, ads. Okay. Yeah. Selling content, that is not lead generation. That's brand building. And yeah, it will generate some leads, and so will organic and AI. But if you want to do volume and leads, they got to pay for it. It's the only way. So from there. Well, and then Lucia said, I think I have all those tools. Yeah. This training was about you have all of my tools. You have everything. You have access to grabbing all of that. And with, Kevin, unfortunately, having to sit here quiet for most of the time. Sorry, Kevin. And he go through is like, these are our tools. These are what we use. Yes, we eat our own dog food. Yes, we are using our own things. And he'll tell you that, yes, we do use them. And as you guys can see, we have clients logged in and connected to these accounts. They weren't connected because of this call. They were already in there, and they'll continue to be in there because that's what we use to service. So when you see people out there selling you, oh, look at my new tool, or it's going to bring you 10K a month. Cool. When they show you the same single business every single time, and it's your cousin's brother's son, or it's a family member, or it's the local bar or restaurant. Like, I show you guys Juan Jaime's all the time because it's one that comes to my mind quick. They're not a client of mine. I use them as an example, and I'm not trying to pitch Sarah, the owner, to be in my software. And I'm just not. I have friends that work there, friends in our fantasy football league that Kevin and I are both in that work there. The current winner has a trophy there. I'm not in there to sell them a new website, which I probably should, Google reviews, which I probably should, or make sure there's I don't have time for that. Okay. I tell them and use them as an example because they're a great example of things that they could be doing from there. But if you see somebody that's selling you, oh, my local bar, the restaurant, place I play guitar at, this is a flyer I made for them, it's bullshit. Okay. Or you see the same one person as a client, but that client's never getting more and more results. Look, we're bringing on new businesses and we're showing you guys real people every day. And I was happy to open the door for this, right? This wasn't about prospecting. This wasn't about sales or the pivot program or how we grow. This is how do we sell an easy $1,500 a month package with the tools that I already talk about every single day with you guys from there. I'd like to see some examples of these proposals of what these folks said yes to. Anna, that's not what this was about. I'd love to show that to you. And I think we've done the first answer formula was state 48s. And then the one pager for LS hardscaping. I think I actually gave that to you guys in the school group already, but that's not what this program was about. It was all about fulfillment and letting you guys understand how to accelerate the success for your agency from there. So we're going to keep it at that. Other than that, if you guys have any questions or anything else, Kevin, is there anything that you want to add? I know you've been quiet for most of it because I've been doing a lot of talking, but thank you for sharing. Thank you. We're being real, and that's respectable. Kevin will tell you what you see is what you get, man.
Yeah. I always say that I'm a pretty boring guy, but when I'm with Jeff, I'm pretty funny.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Aside from what you mentioned, yeah, we eat our own dog food. We constantly use our tools or everything that he's been building for these years. I always told him, every time you find an unturned stone, he'll do everything in his power to turn it and make a profit out of it.
Yeah.
And yeah, do you need all the tools? You can do it manually, but it's gonna be less efficient, and you rather have all the tools so you can start doing everything and sell a bigger package. You can have more.
And the way to do that is sell the package, buffer in your tool cost. If my tool is $99 a month, add the $99 a month and have that first client pay for it. So, Kevin, you've got all the tools. Like, you set this up, you need everything. You started brand new 4 months ago. What do you have to say that somebody just got started, right? Like, so you're not a newbie anymore. Like, you're kind of a quick seasoned veteran. When it like, what advice do you have? And I'll actually shut up for once. What advice do you have for somebody that might be brand new, or what were you scared of in the beginning?
In the beginning, you get a little bit, a little intimidated by the dashboards and the chats. Even if might sound a bit stupid, you get when you see the chat next to the tool, you're like, well, what would I write in here? What the hell am I doing? But once you start having conversations with these tools, everything runs natural. That's what I will say. Just get in there, get your feet wet, and start running your first conversations with the tools and start having real conversations with business owners?
Yeah. And this is a great question from Bijan. Look, and I'm not saying I don't know where you're from, Bijan, but like I know there are people in our company that work outside the US that like, I pay them pretty well for where they're at. But like having tools and things, and Kevin and I have been on calls with folks in India that like have balked at the price of $99 US a month, or like one night they're like, that's insane. I'm like, what do you mean insane? Like this is low cost. Like, so I get that, like maybe depending on where you're at, and I'm not saying you are, but in general, you said, hey, if we work for free for the first month, how much money do we need to spend on tools in advance? You need to spend nothing. What you can do is either do it manually or tell the client, hey, look, the tool for me to do this work is X. If you just cover the cost of the tool, I will do the work for you. That allows you to get access to a tool that most of them have more than one seat in. You now have access. You can resell it to other businesses, showing what you've done for them. As long as you pay, I'll charge you exactly what the tool is. It's $100 a month. You pay me $100 a month, covers the tool. And then I will do all the work and I'll expedite all this for you. That's what you can do from there. And then Bijan is out in Serbia. So, and I don't know what the financial like situation for things like that, but Biljana, what I would do, and hopefully I'm saying your name right. So if I'm butchering it, I'm sorry. People butcher my last name all the time. So first of all, congratulations on working on an agency in Serbia, and you could work in anywhere in the EU. You could work in the US, Canada. Obviously, based on the way that you're typing, you could have a chat conversation with business owners and speak English. So have them cover the tool and then get the first month. That way it's not out of pocket. And I made that mistake before. I've actually done with ad costs where, hey, I'm going to front the money on this, and then you got to go chasing your money. No way. Have them cover the cost of the tool, then activate that tool, put it in there, and then maybe even have them pay for it. Like some of my clients on some larger scale bills, $2,500, $4,000 a month for software access. Like if you guys think that a $99 tool or a $299 a month tool is expensive, I have clients that are billed $4,000, $5,000 a month, or at one point, one was being charged like $19,000 a month for HubSpot access. Think about that. So having access to the tools, if the client's paying for it, doesn't cost you anything. Okay. And you can use it and you can get everything up from there.
And even there, you can build your first head on Lovable.
Yeah.
And for free, you have 5 credits every day? Yeah, it's every day, right, Jeff?
Yeah, I think I haven't been past that limit for a long time. But yeah, so like you can do 5 edits per day, right? On Lovable, it's free. So do the web, and then you could do a lot of it ahead of time with a chat GBT and then you just give the initial prompt into Lovable, and then you go from there. And it's Belina. So Beliana. So I definitely messed up your name today. So my apologies for that. Great. Kevin, thank you for joining me. Thanks for everybody that joined us on this training. If you're a new agency getting started, we have our community at agencystarterkit.com. This local client accelerator training walked you through our $1,500 package. We're going to cover everything we're supposed to cover on here. Real client implementation, how we're implementing it, the exact service package that we offered, how we priced it, how we positioned it for multiple clients, things that we did for the website, Google business profile strategies, reviews, reputation, social profiles, automations, and then how we actually did it as a small team with fulfillment using real clients. Okay. So like none of this was Kevin, go make me a fake moving company. Kevin, go set this up and like, let's just show them. And these are real businesses that we affect their bottom line, that we affect their livelihood. Like we're responsible for that. Like the hardscaping companies, like I got to make money on this. Like I'm giving you my additional profit. Okay, cool. Get me into your ad account and I'll start running you leads. Like that's the way we're talking and getting things set up from there. So that being said, Kevin, you got a demo in 20 minutes. So this is Kevin's going to be running a review lead demo for us in a little bit. I no longer do them, which is great. And then I'm going to get working on our next stuff. But thanks everybody for joining us. Kevin, thanks so much for being a part of this, and obviously for all the work that you do in the company. Hey, you guys like having Kevin? Give a big thanks to Kevin for him to come on. I think this is have you ever done a live stream? I haven't even asked you. I just literally told Kevin, be here this time, and here's what you're gonna do. Like, I just said, I'm gonna drive the bus, get in the back. You guys like having this with Kevin on here, and just give me, I know streamer, just give us a yes or no if this was like pretty cool. Yeah, Kevin. So not much you can say. Yours is a French version. Yep. Kevin sent me the link to the Reviewly demo.
Thanks, Steve. How are you?
Is it Steve? Is it Steve? It's on there?
That's Steve. That's Steve.
Oh, wait, no. Oh, the Reviewly demo at 1 canceled. They just canceled it.
Wait, what? No, it wasn't Steve.
No, it was Thomas. So they must have moved it to a different time again. Yeah, he moved it to Friday. So the 1 o'clock got moved to Friday.
Oh, it's a funny case because we did a demo and he purchased one tool and then he moved it to the
gotcha. Okay, cool. Awesome. All right, so gracias. It says Anthony or gracias. If I don't say it like a white person, cool. Hey Kevin. Thank you both. Thank you, Kevin, Jeff. Thank you. All right, cool. Awesome. Okay, so Kevin, you don't have the demo. It just got canceled. Right. They moved to Friday. So I'll have you do that Friday at 1. But otherwise, you guys have a great rest of your day. Kevin deserves big raise. Kevin I send him on vacation to Tijuana every month. Just kidding. Kevin. Kevin gets to hang out at my house when the renter isn't there. And then, obviously I actually, if you guys, obviously we're going long now, this is kind of like FAQ time. I used to like buy Kevin dinner all the time at Sancho's, our favorite place. And I got Kevin hooked on vodka sodas with a splash of Red Bull. He can't drink anything else now.
Yeah, that's a fun story. So when
he we'll do that for a different. Yeah, go ahead.
When he left Cabo, I went out to a bar with my father, and he was like, "Hey, you want a beer?" I was like, "No, I miss my friend. Can I get a Tito soda with a dash of Red Bull?"
Which is my drink, yeah. So Kevin used to drink all that. We used to go to that and have drinks, and like I'd buy Kevin a taco dia and like all that stuff. So Kevin's been fed. And then this is a great final question here. So what's some advice for hiring our first employee? Don't hire your friends, which Kevin's honest, that doesn't really count. So most of our staff, I got as interns that were in college or just graduating college. I think Kevin will tell you, like almost all of our staff is in their 20s, except for me. Even some of our developers, I think most of them are in their 20s. It just happened to work that way. Hire somebody that is for their personality, for their work drive and ethic, and some of their background stuff. Don't hire somebody that's looking for a paycheck, and that you could stand being around, that you're willing to be able to have conversations with, and that you can help positively affect their life and help indoctrinate them into your ways and your company. That's the way I've done it. So a lot of the folks that work for me started as interns for free, and either when they graduated or they spent X amount of time, got paid, or like, oh, hey, I want to do something. Like, I mean, this is really what Kevin was going through our training and stuff like that. And then started actually showing that he was willing to do it, closing his own deals, and was like, hey, I have a gap that I need filled. Would you be willing to work with me on this case scenario? Now, our relationship is different, where we can have the professional and we only chat professional one channel and we only chat personal another, like 90% of the time. We're able to have that. Don't hire your friends. Okay. It opens up doors and opportunities for weird things to happen and bad scenarios and things like that. Hire folks. If you're going to go after your first hire, figure out what you need, the stuff that you hate doing, right? Like finally I got rid of demos. I don't hate demos, but they took up so much of my time that I wasn't doing the things that properly move my business forward because I was still so busy doing demos. And maybe like, well, you're only doing 1 to 3 a day. The mental tax and capacity that took stopped me from doing other stuff. And they'll tell you, everybody will be like, my vision has opened up so much wider since I've replaced that step in my business. So figure out what is your limiting factors, what you hate doing in your business, that you loathe looking at every day. Is it support? Is it fulfillment? Is it sales? Whatever it is, you hire for that, and you find somebody that's new and eager and is willing to learn, and you hire slowly. You do, and we've hired 5 people in the last 2 months. We've tried to find them, hire. We ask them personal questions, learn about, is this somebody that, like, if I had to sit in a room and talk about my company for 8 hours a day, I could stand them, right? Or is this somebody that, like, if we have a company retreat, I might not ask them to come, right? I don't want that person because I want to be able to bring them all somewhere and hang out. And is a common thread between them and me and other parts of the company. There's no right or wrong answer. I don't do, like, we used to be like a keep it small, keep it all mentality like 10 years ago with some of my ex-business partners and things like that. And I think it's kind of a limiting factor. Since then, I've brought on and hired. And I have had guys that came on as an intern and then went on to be a firefighter because that was his dream. And he was kind of afraid to tell me, like, hey, I got into the academy. Can we make my schedule work, or can I keep working with you until then? And I might be back to do your marketing and after. And they didn't come back, but we still talk. Right. So, like, I knew that wasn't going to be a long-term thing, but we got the most out of that time for events and planning and marketing and stuff like that he did for me. So my advice to you, are going to boil down that 5-minute rant, is find folks that are young and eager, and you can tell by their personality that they're willing to fit the mold of your company, and if they can perform quick in the tasks that you've given them. Then you can expand those tasks or move on for the next person from there. Kevin's already hired. Was great. Everything helped a lot. And then Brian says thank you from there. Great. All right. Since we're not rushing off, we're going to end this any minute now. But, like, any other questions or anything that you guys have, or anything that I can answer for you before you wrap up. And then, one of the things too is talking about hiring. We have a full-time AI guy in our company. We have Sebastian. He was not hired to be my AI guy. He was hired to run ads and to do some marketing and things like that. And technically, the VA outsource company at the time that I used, forget what they were called. Otherwise, I'll tell you guys. I don't want to give you the wrong company. We were hiring for an executive assistant with some marketing skills. And he wound up, after showing me who he was and what he can do after we hired him, because he was the best hiree, I basically created a job role specifically for what he was doing. And now he runs Claude and runs all of our AI and runs all of that from there. So, so be open to those kind of things as well. All right, Kevin, any final words? No other comments have come in.
Nothing that comes to mind, honestly.
Cool. Awesome. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for showing the clients, technical glitch here or there, but everything went well. With that being said, we'll see you guys on the next training. Appreciate each and every one of you. If you want to join us, if you're not sure where we are or how to find us, we're at agencystarterkit.com. That is my school group. It's free to join. It's literally what we showed you today, over the shoulder, working on the agency. We really do what we show this from there. And then everything you guys saw today is the real world. It's the real deal from there. So one thing, Kevin, don't close your browser from this when you leave. I think we're going to end the stream. I'll tell you that here in a second. So don't leave. But everybody else, we'll see you guys next time. Cheers.